we have 1.1 million children in Ireland, and at any one time, 6,000 of these children are in care. And of these, 2,000 are in care for more than 5 years. So our child service is doing its very best to look after our troubled, neglected and abused children. But they're a very small cohort of people that require huge intervention from the state. And I have the direct experience of what is happening here. And I agree with some of the speakers. Yes, we could do with more resources, absolutely no doubt about that. And I completely agree that we don't get it right all of the time. But for anybody who actually has direct experience here, this is one of the most emotionally tough areas to work in. We do not try to replace parents, and I think that's absolutely clear. We do not try to replace parents. In the vast majority of cases, the families are getting support from state agencies. And thousands of families and children are receiving this lifeline every day from state agencies under what I can assure you are very tough emotional and economic conditions for the families and for the people who provided these services. But the very best interests of the child are always served by those who work in this field. And I would never put down the absolute dedication and hard work that the people doing this in this field. The best interest and the welfare of children is covered by legislation such as the Children's Act 1991. Prior to that legislation in 1991, we were working off legislation that was enacted in 1908 in protecting our children. We are coming a long way, and we've done this very quickly in the last number of years. And this referendum, it will help to give the courts more guidance via both the Constitution and subsequent legislation which is following this as well in how to look after children. For the vast majority of children, regardless of this referendum, parental rights will remain paramount. That is the case for the vast majority of kids. The referendum will change nothing. Sadly, for a very small cohort of our nation's children, we actually have to give them equal rights as their parents in order that the courts have the power to protect this tiny but very traumatized cohort of our children. And that's what we are really supporting in this. It's protecting a very small group of children. This is not about dysfunctional families, because what I might consider to be a normal family, someone else might say is dysfunctional. And this is not about putting one set of values above another set of values. I can absolutely guarantee you that when the state intervenes in children's lives in this country, it is to help the parents and children. And as I've already said, in a very small number of cases, it is to save the children from neglect, often what is basically criminal abuse and neglect of a very small cohort of children that are the backdrop of many of the cases that are being quoted in this chamber today.
1 minute.
And I'm glad that this is the work we're doing. Years of watching judges, social workers, childcare workers, public health nurses, care assistants and doctors striving to be fair and impartial in what are huge emotional and legal issues. I would ask we all do one thing. Do not allow this referendum to become a sterile, legalistic campaign. For a small number of children, there is a referendum and the subsequent legislation could save their lives. And I think this referendum is about, for years we said children must be seen and not heard. This referendum and the legislation that comes with it will show that we want both to see our children and to hear what they have to say. And that's what we should be supporting here. I'm delighted that for the vast majority of children in this country, this is a great country to be living in. My own young children, who are all under the age of 11, they think that their newfound children's rights is about putting chocolate muffins in their lunch boxes. And I don't want to be flippant about what we're doing here. But this is also a great country for children. And what we're doing is building on that, so that small number of people know that we believe in them and that we're there to help them and we're there to look after them. And therefore, I think in some respects, this referendum is almost a celebration of what we're doing for children, and I think we should campaign it on that.